Hello and welcome to this episode of Nick of Time. Now, I'm going to discuss how the heck the Knicks came back down from 20 points in back-to-back games, game one and game two. Of course, in the playoffs, game one and game two is always on the road. If you're the lower seed, Knicks were 3 versus 2. One back-to-back games in the Garden, down 20. TD Garden, sorry. TD Garden, down um, down 20 points. Now, my first thing I want to talk about is the three-point shooting, of course, for the Boston Celtics. Biggest thing when you're going this series, why did they win the championship? Probably the biggest reason was because the Celtics was just dynamite from three-point line. Yes, their defense was great, and we'll get into that today. They played great defense against the Knicks, but they couldn't get it done. But, that also was a big factor. But I think the biggest factor was their three-point shooting and the way they just can shoot people out of the game. They can run you off the court with the 3-point shooting when it's hitting. They mostly hit when they NBA Finals. They just have players. They have players that can just knock down 3 threes in a row, and you're done. So there's another put another perspective. You're down. You're up by 9 with about 3 minutes left. Tatum can come down and hit 3 threes, and your lead is gone. Brown can come down, hit 2 threes, and White can come down and hit 1 3, and your lead is gone. Or it's the second quarter and you're it's tie game, and then Peyton Pritchard 3, Derek White 3, Al Horford is a 3, maybe Porzingis hits a 3, Tatum 3, Brown, and you're done. It's over. The Celtics are A1. So, in this game they didn't, but they caught up so far, and then they didn't win. But you know what I mean? Like they have a weapon, and that's a 3-point shot. They use well, and the Knicks know that going into the series. That's number one talking point. Now, the way Knicks have stopped them is we're gonna let you shoot as much threes as possible, but we're gonna get up in your face. You want to take those ridiculous threes? Okay, we'll use that against you. We'll go under screens to make you shoot 1,000-foot jumpers if we know you're not hitting already. If Jason Tatum is over 3 from 3, we'll live with him pulling up a semi-contested 3 against OG Anunoby. We'll live with that. And also, man, this team is they're using their 3-point shooting, but it's also they're not driving too, so it kind of puts them at a disadvantage now. All those shots seem rushed. They do. They're open, but they're rushed. 19 seconds left in the 19 seconds left in the shot clock. 24-second shot clock. 5 seconds down. Sam Hauser shoot 3. I know he was out game 2. It's a game 1. Sam Hauser goes down, shoot 3 air balls. What in your mind did you think that was a good shot? 5 seconds went down, and you shot a semi-contested 3 air ball. That's a rush shot. First of all, it's rushed. Second of all, it's just a bad shot in general. You want to get the shot clock. You want to move the ball. Because the Celtics are very good when they move the ball, get the ball popping, and kind of draw 2, get the 3-point. Whatever. They're very good when the ball's moving. When you do one pass, Sam Hauser 3, it could work, but when it's semi-contested by players like Mikal Bridges, Deuce McBride, other players like that, you're usually going to miss that. It's going to miss it bad. So those are rush shots. Even if they're open, 18 seconds left in the shot clock, that's rushed. All the shots that Drew Holiday's taking is rushed. Jaylen Brown's taking rush 3s. Tatum's taking rush shots. He's rushing to make those 3s. 3s are what comes off of the offense. They don't come because you just want to shoot them out of the start of the play. You want to get guys open so it opens up the 3-point line. You want to get inside so it opens up the 3-point line. Because then you could start hitting 3s, because then it's not rushed. Then we're already into the shot clock. 12 seconds, 11 seconds left in the shot clock. Big difference. Everybody's set. Everybody's into it. No rush. Set your feet. Shoot a 3. And you can make that. Because Tatum or Brown already drived into the paint, and then you got an open look. Or maybe Holiday moved around the ball. 11 seconds left. You have a semi-open three with Sam Asher, then you want to take it. You can take it. But you have to try to move the ball before you take a shot like that, especially if every possession matters in the playoffs. Every possession matters. You don't want to ruin one because you just want to take a three that's semi-open with 19 seconds left in the shot clock. You have 19 seconds left to get a shot off. Relax and move the ball. I mean, thank God they're not doing that. I'm a Knicks fan, but this is the kind of frustration that Boston fans are seeing. Is they need to relax because they have 19 seconds on the clock and they're taking threes. That means they're not getting good looks. That just means it. I know they could be open, but man, that's a rush shot, and rush shots don't usually go in. Pick and pop. That is the biggest reason you need. If you're the Celtics, you need Porzingis healthy as he possibly can. He has something where he runs around and then cannot breathe, and he comes in for 5-minute stretches and then just goes out. They didn't even play in the fourth. I mean, late stages of the fourth. Looked like he just gave you one show for about 5 minutes and just left. He had a three and had a dunk. About it. It was big. It was big dunk and big three, but he didn't play for the rest of the game. Kind of concerning if you're a Boston fan. The reason why it's concerning is because the pick and pop with him and Tatum or him and whatever. His shot when he gets it up. If you're gonna switch, the Knicks are doing great. We'll talk about that later. When you switch, Knicks are trying to switch those pick and pops. His shot, he cannot see Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson cannot contest that shot. But when you have Al Horford, his shot's a little bit funky, but also he's not as big. So when he shoots it, it's here. Or it's easier for Brunson to contest, and he gets a contest on it most of the time. So you want the bigger guy with I think the better shot. I think statistically, and I think just right now, I would trust Porzingis with a three because Al Horford just bricking everything he puts up. At least that's what I'm seeing by the game. I didn't really look at the stats from Al Horford, but I think the pick and pop with Porzingis is way more threatening, and the pick and pop with Al Horford, you can just switch that. Every that's a big part of their offense. If you could shut that down, I mean, it could be shutting that down by an injury. Okay, whatever. I mean, you got lucky. The guy is hurt, so you shut that down. But again, I mean, they still want to run the pick and pop with Al Horford because he still has a shot. But I just think the way the Knicks are switching it is just impossible for them to really complete a pick and pop. I mean, they can force it again, a rush three. They can force one that's semi-contested, but yeah, that's what we talked about earlier. It's like that's a shot that's semi-contested by Jalen Brunson. That's not a good look. You rather move the ball to the second side and get a second side action, where you have Jaylen Brown going downhill or something like that, other than just Al Horford contested three, and you're just living and dying by that. It's not good offense. Again, kind of pissed me off. I mean, it's not pissing me off at all. I think it would piss off any normal NBA fan of the way they're playing basketball. It's just not fun because it just doesn't work. And you're yelling at Joe Mazzulla if you're any NBA fan, you're yelling at Joe. You're like, why are you shooting so many threes? Tell the guys to relax and get into actual plays and get a pick and roll up top. Because the pick and pops, the early shot clock threes aren't working. They're not going to work. So you must be, if a Celtic, you must be, because I know there's ways they can succeed. And they showed it sometimes where Tatum got downhill in game 2 and really looked like, you know what, they found something. You know what, it's probably the series is over because they now figured out a way to get downhill. So, it's the series can kind of get, it's over, but the series is shifted now because now Tatum realized he can get downhill. But no, ever since those 2 layups, he was trash because he settled for threes. And we'll talk about it later. Spark plug, bench scorers to match Pritchard can be the difference. I think the Knicks have 3 choices. It's either Deuce McBride to match Pritchard, Landry Shamet, who can come in. I think it's also important because if the Celtics are going to hit some threes, you kind of want to get a 3-point shooter in there. I think I said that in the last episode of it. I think it was Jack and Big Frank. I talked about that. You need a guy that can, if the Celtics are hitting, you don't want to go completely into their basketball, but if the Celtics are going to hit 3 threes, and that really changes the momentum, and you can just sneak in 3 threes to land a jam to keep yourself on the rope. That's important. Deuce McBride has been great. Great, hit a 3, hit a 2. It's just very good to see him back into form, hitting his threes, and back to him not touching net. I mean, back to him not touching net. So I mean, not touching rim. Campaign, a veteran. He could be a guy that I'm going to game 3. He could be a guy that really shows up in game 3. He's a veteran. He knows his circumstances. Do not get too above you. I mean, do not get too. Don't mail it in. Don't be like, we're gonna win no matter what. Like, we have this series on show. You don't. I mean, you do kind of, but you don't. You can't just put your pedal off the gas. So I think a veteran like Campaign knows that. And I think you definitely give him some minutes off the bench. Give him about 10 points. That hopefully match Pritchard. So just a vet like that off the bench. It's gonna be either come down to Campaign or Deuce McBride. One of them are gonna have to match Pritchard. And I mean, I guess you could match like they did last night. They matched 5 points plus the 6 from Mitch. You could kind of add them together, and you get higher than Pritchard, and kind of cancel that out. I think, but you're not really. I don't really put Mitch in because he's not a guy that is supposed to score. But in those games, he gets 6 points. Those are big. In a game that is very low scoring, getting those 6 points is big. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have Mitchell Robinson. Oh, we'll talk about him later. But yeah, the Star Watch, man. The Celtics Star Watch. You know, the Knicks have a bunch of stars that are amazing and they're great. But the Celtics, they have a Star Watch, but it's not good. It's not good. It's not one of those where it's Ken Brunson where they're just dominating everybody. No, it's a bad one. And why are they struggling? I think the biggest thing is why they're struggling is, first of all, I think the Jaylen Brown one is a bailout. I just don't think he has explosiveness in a knee. I just don't think he does. And I also don't think he has that big. I don't even think he has that. I just don't. Whenever he's getting ISO'd on Cat, I just feel like Anthony Towns is going to get that stop most of the time. I know it's crazy, but Jaylen Brown just doesn't have those moves that really scare me. Like, that's not his game. Like, I'm not going to try to dumb this analysis down, but he just doesn't have a back. So when you put him in isolation against a guy like Anthony Towns, you can live with that. Most of the time, he'll score. He has a mid-range shot, get right to a spot. He's played like that will get to a spot, and you're kind of cooked from there. But I think you're I think they played a very good job with Jaylen Brown first few game for in the second game where they let Brown get going. Okay, fine. You're gonna get going. We're good. 8 points to start the game. Whatever. You're doing good, but we just need to keep this going because once he gets going, he's going to shoot so much more, and he ends the game with 8 for 21. So the Knicks kept their ice, and it's a lot of work for Jaylen Brown to take someone off the dribble. He's not usually doing that. He's usually most of his points, kind of some of his points for spot up threes, and he's still driving, but not as much as he's going to have to do in this series, one-on-one against Knicks defense. I mean, especially if it's Mikal Bridges or Cat switching on him. I mean, they're getting the switches, but it's just like Jaylen Brown just lost that explosiveness. He just did. And also Tatum is just, you're 6'10", and you're just taking step back threes over Jalen Brunson. I know Jalen Brunson's a big guy. I mean, not a big guy. He's a strong guy at 6'1" or 6 foot, whatever the heck he is. He's a big guy. He's a strong guy. But damn, man, when you get a switch on him, you got to go right past him. You have to. If you're Tatum, you have to. And, the way Tatum's just taking step back threes over Jalen Brunson is just not good basketball. It's not good. Because then the Knicks, you just bailed the Knicks out. I know the Knicks have played great defense, but they have had some possession where they played great defense. 50% of the game, they're playing great defense. Well, that was the possession of the game where they weren't, and you bail them out for that amount of time. So you got to. The Knicks are going to be a great defensive team, but once you get them on those ropes where they're not, you got to actually just put your foot on the gas. When they're not playing that defense that they have for 50% of the game, and you got a possession or two where they're just kind of lackluster defensively, you got to take advantage of that. The Celtics aren't doing a good job because the Knicks are just swarming. And when they aren't, the Celtics are just taking step back threes. And that is not good basketball. I don't care what people say. They got there because of that. I don't care. You have Jalen Brunson on you. You ask anybody what you would do with Jalen Brunson on you. Ask any 6'10" guy. They'd mostly say, I'm gonna get right past them. And that's just the obvious. Get right past him or get to a post up. But this man is just he's taking oh my this guy is ruining basketball. This guy is ruining basketball. He is ruining basketball. He needs to get he needs to get a he needs to get a big he needs to get he needs to get himself in the paint. Um Knicks forcing isolation ball, as I said, they're forcing that isolation ball where they're enticing them. They're saying Jaylen Brown, cat on you, go drive. Because that you know what that does? Because that ruins the offense. Their whole reason why they were so good is because they moved the ball, as I keep saying. Because when they're just focused on let's get Jaylen Brown downhill. When that happens when Brunson's, in the second quarter, he's just dribbling around and no one's doing anything and everybody's that happens when Jaylen Brown dribbles on Cat because everybody's watching him, seeing what Jaylen Brown can do against Cat and being like, oh, this guy, we might see a highlight reel. This might be going on ESPN. It's not because Jaylen Brown lost explosiveness in his knee and he also has no bag. So it's not going to go on ESPN. So people are just standing around doing nothing while he just tries to take Cat defensively and he probably gets a decent shot off, but it's contested again, slightly contested. That's not a shot that I hate because no one was moving. So when you take those shots, it's like you don't have to take them. You make a lot of $1 million. Take that freaking shot from the mid range. But that's just smart defense. That's what Thibodeau has put in, and that's I give him a shout at because that's just thinking outside the box. How can we bog down this offense? It's just make them enticed by one-on-one matchups because that's screwed. Because then also you can still play boxing elbows, but the thing is you can play boxing elbows or play gaps because everyone else is standing around watching while Jaylen Brown is taking Cat one-on-one. So you just play boxing elbows, and even if he does get a step, OG's coming over there, Mikel's coming over there, to get a steal or get a poke at the ball so we can move the ball. Like they are, and that oscillation takes a lot of time. So once you get 10 seconds or 9 seconds on the clock, now OG comes in for the stunt. Now he tries to recover. Now Jaylen Brown throws it out. So now you have 7 seconds left. So then you have 7 seconds left on the clock, and then you just play straight up. So that is what the Knicks have done so far with their defense. Is just let the Celtics do what they want in the isolation. Don't let them move the ball. And it's as simple as it sounds, but they're doing that. Again, defensive connectivity kind of hinted that the Suns are recovering. It's great. Even if they do have mismatches with Brown on Cat, they're still setting and recovering, which is good, making Brown pick up a dribble. And just stuff like that. When Jason Tatum is seeing Brunson on him, they're still stunning and recovering and all that stuff. They're doing a great job of that, making Tatum think twice about driving it on OG Anunoby. It's great to see the Knicks just connected defensively. That chemistry defensively has been something I've been missing for this whole entire year. It's just been connectivity defensively. Again, the game style has been forcing the Celtics out of what they want to play. They play a high style of basketball. They play a let's physically get them out of the game. Physically. Let's have talent them. Let's get the hell out of the game. We have 3-point shooters. Let's go. But man, the way the Knicks have been playing, they've been able to bog down this offense so it's slower. And so everything in the half court is slower. And especially the Celtics haven't been a good half court team in this series. So they're going to keep bogging this game down. And the Celtics just aren't getting as much transition opportunities because, they still have some missed threes in transition. You see how open they get in transition? It's insane. So when you try to bog down the game, you let less transition stuff happen. And you just trust your half court offense. You have Jalen Brunson. You have Karl-Anthony Towns. That is why the Knicks made those moves, especially those moves with Cat and Jalen, because they can just go in a pick and roll. And in a half-court offense, they do it. And with the Celtics, when they get in a half-court offense, they're just Tatum, whatever shot that is, fade away. Their half-court offense is not good. They don't have the players like the Knicks do. I feel very comfortable about saying that. They don't have the players the Knicks do. When it comes to half court offense, Jaylen Brown just doesn't have it anymore, and his knee. So that's just are favored when it comes to half court basketball. And just mucking the game up, playing harder, playing grittier. I know it's just no X's and O's on that. Just let's be gritty. Let's just get on the ground and let's win this. I know they missed some. Those are just rebounds when the Drew Holiday gets. He's just in the right place at the right time. When the Knicks are really getting on the floor, you see them. I don't think there's a lack of effort when that's just he's in the right place at the right time, getting lucky. But yeah, I mean, you saw OG dive on the floor. I think OG McKell, they've dived on the floor, and I think when McKell shot that awful shot in game one, he came back, had that steal. He was running out of bounds and threw it and saved it. That stuff is hustle and grit and grind basketball, and that's what then they're seeing adversity too with that physicality. That's adversity to the Celtics, and the Celtics are the golden child of the NBA. They get whatever. Last year they got a freaking golden carpet to the finals. Now they're gonna see some adversity. I know it's a championship level team, but this team has not faces adversity ever. So we'll see. Ever since the championship year last year, they didn't face any adversity last year, even though they were champions. So the whole defending champ, they haven't seen this adversity. This is a whole different game. They might as well not be experienced at all because this is a game they haven't really played a long time. Just physicality. And they're also in adversity because they're already down 2-0. So they're just out of their comfort zone completely. And you could see it. Mitchell Robinson, man, clap it up. I knew he'd make a big impact, but I didn't know it would be this big. So I'm gonna say that because I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, I knew Mitchell Robinson would come back. He's gonna change again. No, I didn't know Mitchell Robinson would come back. I knew Mitchell Robinson would come back, but I didn't know he was gonna make the impact against the Boston Celtics like he's doing and lead them like that play by Mitchell Robinson. I don't care. That was the biggest play because you know who's over there. And that's also defensive connectivity. That goes in the other heading that I was talking about is defensive connectivity. He knows I got to force him to this corner because he's going to go to the corner. And he's going to go to the corner. You know he's going to see. You just see OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. So you force him there and you don't let him go downhill. I know it looked like Tatum had kind of a step, but I feel like he did a very good job of going in the middle, of not letting Tatum go downhill. And then Tatum just, he stinks though. He just did what bad players do. He went to the corner and shot a fadeaway, and it didn't. I don't even think he got the shot up. So he's just a bad player in general. He just sucks. So we'll move on. And also Mitchell Robinson on the boards have been fine. His plus has been. I know plus minus is a flawed stat, but he's higher than almost everybody. So when you see stuff like that, it's an outlier. So you think of it as an actual stat. Like he was a plus 19, and the most plus player was Deuce McBride with a 9. The other, and the Celtics had nobody. So the most plus player in the game was 11 for Luke Cornett, and he beat that by 8. So that's an outlier right there, and that's showing the impact that he has in the game. The Knicks win when he's on the court. The Knicks just do because they run that 4-5 action with Cat and Mitchell Robinson. It's good basketball. Now what isn't good basketball is a hack of Mitch, but I don't know. Do I even need to? I'm not even going to do that because that's just so annoying. Because that brings us up to the. Oh no, I'm not going to do that yet. Let's shout out Mikal Bridges for his defensive scoring. I think this defense. Everybody's talking about it, so I'm just going to glance over it because I know everybody's like, oh, this guy's the greatest defensive player of all time. He is. I think he's better than Gary Payton. But his defense has been a tremendous. So that's just whatever. We know what he does defensively. The scoring. In that third quarter or fourth quarter, when the Knicks didn't have Brunson out, when the Knicks had Brunson out, it was a 15-point game, about that 12-point game. The Knicks need somebody to just keep him afloat, keep him to a 10-point game, keep him afloat, and just keep the foot on the rope. And the Celtics hit the threes where it's 15, 16-point game with about 9 minutes left or something like that, and McKell just kept hitting jumpers. He couldn't go. The Knicks weren't going away, but I feel like especially McKell wasn't going away with his shots. They just kept going in, kept giving the Knicks a shot. And it just gave him a shot enough for Brunson to come back in, and everything just clicked. So McCovey just timely scoring, worth all the picks in the world. I'd give him another 6. So I'd give him another 6 first round. I'll make it McCovey just for 12 first round picks. I think the Nets would I think the Nets would really want McCovey just the way he plays defense. So I think. I mean, I don't even know, but the Nets need to play like McCovey. He's a freaking he's a dog. So you know everybody needs to play like McCovey. So getting him for first round picks is a robbery. So for us, of course, the Knicks, of course. The coaching matchup, man, Thibs is winning it. And I think it's winning it. I think it's winning it because Coach Mazzulla is just so bad. Coach Mazzulla is awful. He really is bad. He just tells people to shoot threes. I think that's a lazy thing people say, but I do get it. He literally goes out there and just tells them to shoot threes. There's no X's and O's. There's nothing. You see when the Knicks do it, where they post up sometimes with OG Anunoby. They get good looks in the 2-point range. They really can. You see what's happening. You see that an offense being generated. When you watch the Celtics, it's a lot of nothing. It's just he's just telling Tatum. You don't think that you can just repost Tatum against Jalen Brunson? Like, can't you do stuff like that? The coach got to tell him, when you get the switch on Brunson, pass it out and repost. Come on. If you can't take him one-on-one, why not just go repost? And if they draw 2, make a pass. So that coaching, he's just been bad. He's a bad coach. Come on, man. He's a terrible coach. I'm just kidding. He's not terrible, but he's been playing pretty bad. He's been coached pretty bad. Not having his team ready for those second halves again is just not good. Losing a 20, like, you're the head coach. You have to have the team ready at the end of the day. I know the players are what makes the money and everything, but the coach also is a big part of that. He had to have his players ready. And also, shout out Coach Thibs. He has had his players ready and competing for him. No one put their head down. It was nothing about that when they were down 20. I felt like the Knicks, like, it was kind of like, in my mind, it was over, but I feel like the team keeps fighting, and they want to fight for Tom Thibodeau. Pipe this in. They want to fight for Tom Thibodeau. They want to fight for Tom. They want to fight for him. He's a guy you want to fight for. You want to run through a wall for him. He's that type of coach. I've never said anything about that, nothing. The defensive schemes he's ran is awful in the regular season, but right now he's fixed it and whatever. Offense has been awful, but right now he's still awful, but he's run a little bit of plays, and you know what? He's earned my trust back. He's back. Stay close, win late. I think that is what the Knicks' mantra has been, especially in TD Garden. I think it's been stay close, win late. Because the Knicks just have the superstar, and the Celtics just have 2 stars. So when it comes to the end of the game, it's just a lot of nothing for the Celtics. I mean, it's just like there's no clutching on that team. They just take a bunch of threes, and there's no real plan. So the Knicks usually have a plan when it comes to high pick and rolls, or Jalen Brunson getting that hill, or OG getting a screen and roll. OG getting the ball and whatever. They have a plan always when it comes to clutch, and they always execute. So, and the Celtics just don't, and they also don't have a plan. So they also don't have a plan, but they also don't execute. So if you stay close in all those games, you'll win. I think that's the ending I want to put on. And it's Knicks fever, man. It's gonna be a ride. So I think if the Knicks take one of the games in MSG, feel happy. 3-1 going back to Boston. That would be good. Very good. You could still win in Boston, but you also have the comfort of Game 6 in MSG, I guess. You still are underdog, so you want to go out there and still be hungry. So you don't want to give up that Game 3. That should be a must win, because it's a must win, because if you win that game, you can just sleep. You still don't want to make history. You still don't want them to make history, but you kind of can just coast off and win one of the next 2 or something. You can lose one and you'll be fine, or maybe you want to finish it up at the Garden. There's a lot of stuff that can happen, man. I won't be surprised if this team does the same thing over and over again, because they have shown that the games will be close. Every game is close. I mean, look at it. I don't think any playoff game hasn't been close for the Knicks. I mean, hasn't been close. Every game has been close. So, um, if we look at it, I think yeah. Um, I mean, to 123 game one. I guess was the one outlier. It was an 11-point game. That game was close throughout. Game two, of course, the Knicks kind of lose by 6. I mean, the game fell over. Game three, again, game was close throughout. Game four, with the foul. That was a non-foul, but wasn't a foul. Was it a foul? I don't know. Don't care. The Knicks are in the playoffs against the Celtics, and they're knocking down their doors, so it doesn't matter. And then game five, that was good. That was close. Um, that was a good game. That was a close game. Now then, game six, you win with a game-winning three by Jalen Brunson. So that game was, of course, close. Then you go into game one against the Boston Celtics. That game's close. You win. So then you go another game against Celtics. That game. So it wouldn't surprise me the Knicks stay close in the next two games, and then they come out and win and sweep the game and sweep the series. That wouldn't surprise me. So yeah, that's gonna do it. Have a nice day and subscribe to this channel of Nick of Time. Also, we'll post Jack to Big Frank all around, and we'll get back up in that running. I think it'll be the game three will be done. So maybe we'll be doing victory laps on Sunday as I go to the game on Saturday. Then we'll be doing victory laps on Sunday. We have no clue. Maybe we'll just be buckling up for game four. But that'll be great. Have a nice day. Let's go Knicks. I believe.